All right, everybody, welcome back to Beans No Ball. As it's starting to finally get back into this, finally get the consistency back. We're starting obviously a our new type series, our little mini video. Of course, although we didn't get into the bulk of free agency, we're gonna start these videos off by a couple big names still left on the market and see give you some takes and our predictions on where they'll end up.
Yeah, so we got 10 big name free agents that we're gonna go over today, and it's gonna be some quick rundowns of these players with what's going on with them, and then we're gonna see where we think they're gonna end up. So David, you're going to kick it off with the first free agent.
Yeah, of course. So obviously this one, he's been a pretty big flop throughout the last couple of years. Of course, Carson Wentz. We know how great he was coming into the league. Burst on the scene in 2017, MVP frontrunner until the infamous game against my Rams. That he ended up tearing his ACL. Nick Foles went on a Super Bowl run without him, and it kind of just his career slowly derailed from there. We saw how poorly he did with the Colts 2 years ago, even worse with the Commanders last year. So it's tough to say who would really want him. He's pretty damaged goods at this point, but my opinion right here, the easiest call would be if he goes to the Arizona Cardinals. We see their position right now without Kyler for either most of the season or possibly the whole season. They're stuck with Colt McCoy, so if Carson could either give him some competition or just take the job outright, I think this would be at least a healthy push for the Cardinals, even though they're probably stuck in the basement of the NFC West.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. Like I said in 2017, he had that big run with the Eagles, and then obviously the ACL injury. And then after that injury, he just hasn't been the same. We see how it was in 2018 and 19. He really just couldn't get any production going, and then we did see how in the future, I believe 2020, how he was benched for Jalen Hurts, and after that, they did move on from him. But Carson Wentz, he just really doesn't have what it takes anymore. I know how even the debate to begin with, like the Dak v. Carson debate, which is better. That kind of got the relevancy to Carson Wentz a little bit more. 2017 was really the big year where it kind of showed like, okay, ignore 2016, not that big of a deal. Now 2017, this is the true player he is. But obviously with these injuries, him going to the Colts and didn't do that much, then going to the Commanders, didn't really play a big role there. And to me, I think Carson Wentz, I believe he's still going to remain a free agent. I don't think any team's going to pick him up anytime or sooner or later. I think Carson Wentz is probably done, in my opinion. And then moving on to the next free agent, we have a pretty big name running around. We got Dalvin Cook. Earlier in the year, he was released by the Minnesota Vikings since they could not find a trade partner. And Dalvin Cook, he's still a very great running back. He's still a top 15 running back. He still has it in him. And in my opinion, I think he would probably go to the Colts. We see the situation what's going on with JT. Even though the owner of the Colts did say that they're not going to trade him, he is going to stay. I feel like JT's, he's still going to have a little, I guess, butthurt about it. And, I wouldn't say he would hold out specifically, but, most case scenario, the team that would need a running back would be the Colts. And I think Dalvin Cook would be perfect suit for them.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening with, obviously a weird situation with Colts, but in my opinion, I'm going to have to say the Jets here. We see how many of the rumors have just been flying around. That's obviously his preferred destination at the moment. And, he kind of already said, he probably would want to go there. And, especially, we see what they're cooking up. They got a really solid defense with Sauce Gardner and obviously with the strides they were making last season, in the run game with Breece Hall, which, he could easily be a great compliment to him. And the running back with Garrett Wilson, and obviously the big name Aaron Rodgers being probably the big ticket to get him there. I think just everything with the offense is going to be cooking with the Jets, and I think that's just easily the best landing spot for him. Moving on, got easily a future Hall of Famer, first ballot coming next as our wide receiver in Julio Jones. Seeing it's kind of been a pretty disappointing tail end to his career. Not really what you would have wanted to see him to go out. Last season with the Titans was really one to forget. In my opinion, he's edging towards retirement, but I believe he's gonna head to the Falcons, get one last ride, just one last dance with his, the team that he made it big on, and just after this season he'll hang it up.
Yeah, I mean, Julio Jones was arguably I guess you could argue that he was a top five receiver of the 2010s, and I wouldn't be mad if you were to say that, because Julio Jones was dominant since he joined the Falcons, and obviously we saw at Super Bowl 51 after the infamous choke of the Atlanta Falcons, he just sort of lost his juice after that, and after being released, we saw how he went to the Bucs, not really too much production there, then obviously getting released a year later, then signing with the Titans and last season, and he really didn't do much there. He's getting old. With these receivers, once they're old, they just really can't get anything done. And I think Julio's officially lost his juice. I don't think he's gonna sign with another team. I would say he would probably retire after either during the season or after the season, like you did say. But I do think Julio Jones is done for the most part. Now moving on to another free agent running back, we have Leonard Fournette. Now, playoff Lenny, as you would say, drafted with the Jaguars. He was a great running back. He was a good running back, and then he obviously went with the Buccaneers. Had some decent production there, not that much, I guess you could say, but obviously the complications with the Bucs, not really big complications, just mainly with his contract. But playoff Lenny, I would say he won't sign with anyone as well. I'm gonna go. This is probably a hot take for Leonard Fournette. I don't think he will sign with anyone in the start of the season.
Definitely a hot take. For me, he's easily going to be sought after, at least as a running back too. He'd be a great compliment, and here where I think he'll land with the Chargers to be a great backup for Austin Eckler. I think, there's him and someone we're about to talk to. I feel like it's going to be, neck and neck, see where these two end up. I can go either way. But for me, I think Fournette is still a viable second in the depth chart option, and I think at least see how he rides it out this season, get a 1-year deal on the Chargers, and see what goes from there. But moving on, we got our first defensive player here, former number 1 pick in the 2014 draft, Jadeveon Clowney. Obviously, he was a force to be reckoned with at the start of his career. He was a great 1-2 punch with J.J. Watt in Houston, and little by little, he's just bounced around the league. The Seahawks, Browns, just a couple teams not really sticking around. And at this point, sure, I think we can agree he is at the twilight of his career. He's probably also on his way out soon. I mean, if we're going to be honest, most of these, the reason they're still on the board is because they're probably more washed out and ready to retire. But I think knowing how good the Niners are to with defense and overall, I think this is a good landing spot for him if he does end up signing. I think he'd land pretty comfortably in San Fran, and I mean, who knows how much production, who knows if he even finishes out the year there, but I think that'd be a solid landing spot for Clowney.
Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney, he was a very great defensive player after being drafted to the Texans, and obviously he's really been having some really slow productions. Jadeveon Clowney, some contract issues, with his character and this and that. But Jadeveon Clowney, like how you said, he is in the twilight of his career. So he is still, I guess you could say, like decently young for being drafted in 2014. Near closing into his 10th season. I still think he's got it in him. I think he just needs to find the right spot. And I think the right spot for him would probably be the Philadelphia Eagles. We see how dominant the Philadelphia Eagles defense was last season, especially with the front line, with Fletcher Cox and those big name linebackers. And I do think Jadeveon Clowney would fit with the Eagles scheme. So I do think he would probably land with the Eagles this season. Now moving on to another notable name, which is a little towards me, Zeke. Cowboys released Zeke this offseason. A lot of people didn't like it, especially a lot of Cowboys fans. But I mean, as you start to look at it, I think it was the best. Zeke was released by the Cowboys. He's been on a steady decline, and honestly, it's not his fault. I mean, Jason Garrett ran him to the ground, and with running backs, they really have the shortest career span in the league, especially with some little memes going around with bad knees. And it could be the case, but Zeke, could beat the wash allegations if he signs with a new team. 2 potential spots for him are the Cowboys, and the Patriots. Jerry Jones did disclose that the window to sign Ezekiel Elliott is not closed, so there could be a potential for there. But with the Cowboys running back room, we got Tony Pollard and then most likely Deuce Vaughn at the second spot. But in my opinion, I think Zeke would probably go with the Patriots. They do need a running back, and I feel he will fit into Bill Belichick's scheme.
Yeah, it's the first time we're gonna agree here. I feel the same way. The Patriots definitely need a running back. And their run game really hasn't been anything special the past couple years. And obviously, we know the rumors. It's been thrown around endlessly how Zeke's pretty leaning towards the Patriots. So I'm gonna have to agree with you. You covered all that good. You know Zeke pretty well, seeing him for years. Of course, moving on, we got another running back that he's probably had not the career we would have expected after he burst on the scene with Kareem Hunt. We know how his whole story, how the great rookie season, his great debut on opening night against the Patriots when he was with the Chiefs, and everything after his whole incident, kicking a woman in a hotel. That was obviously what probably slowly did derail his career, his image in general. But he was able to get back up, signed with the Browns, and he's had some pretty good production. Now, for me, this take might be biased to some, but I honestly think a great landing spot for him would be the Rams. And just my main thing here is there was some serious interest with the Rams front office to trade for him in the last trade deadline. And obviously we know the one thing that could hold him back from coming is our pretty horrible O-line. But if McVay can sell him on our vision, see what's possible to see if the O-line has any progress, then I could definitely see him having some interest to come to LA. But it's a little debatable, but I just think because of the interest we had last season.
Yeah. Excuse me. I mean, Kareem Hunt, when his rookie year, like he said with the Chiefs, it looked like he was going to have a really good career, probably be one of the best backs in the league. And obviously the incident with the woman in the elevator did slowly decline his career. We see how he did go to the Browns. He had some potential there, but really wasn't enough. But in my opinion, I think Kareem Hunt will sign with the Giants. I feel like a very healthy Saquon Barkley mixed with the Kareem Hunt in that backfield could be very deadly with that Giants team, especially since since Saquon is really not the backbone. Daniel Jones, a lot of people say Daniel Jones is underrated, he's overrated, he's this and that. Doesn't matter. A healthy Saquon with a very healthy Kareem Hunt, I feel like can be a very deadly backfield to the Giants that could really help them go far into this season. Now moving on to another big name receiver, very veteran receiver that's been in the league for a while, Jarvis Landry. Now Jarvis Landry, he dropped with the Dolphins. He had a very good, decently good career with the Dolphins. I would say at least top 20 receiver during his time. Then obviously he had a nice little run with the Saints and then the Browns. And he's currently a free agent right now. Jarvis, like Julio Jones, he is not very old, but he's a decently old receiver. Like I talked about, Jarvis Landry he's a little old, and I think for the spot he could possibly go to Titans. Titans, they really need some receivers. They got no big name receivers right now, especially after trading AJ Brown to the Eagles last season. I feel like adding another weapon to possibly Ryan Tannehill or maybe Malik Davis, and obviously Will Levis, he was drafted. So for any three, I feel like Jarvis could probably do a decent impact if he still got the juice in him.
You might have missed out that the Titans did pick up D-Hop, but I mean, that could be a decent 1-2 punch if you really do think about it. But in my opinion, this might be a little more out there, but I think a good spot for him would be landing with the Bills. I think right now that wide receiver room, obviously headed by Stephon Diggs and a couple other big name guys, as we know, Gabriel Davis. But it's not much to be said for me, really. I just think he's gonna be looking for a spot to ride out the rest of his career. He probably got another 2-3 years in on him at most, if we're being honest, probably 2. So he could probably see if he could contribute to to a contending team, maybe see if he can get a ring. But I think, obviously, just like a lot of these guys, it's getting near the end for him. Another defensive guy we're going to move on to, someone near and dear to me in a way. We got Ndamukong Suh. It's been a good while with my Rams. Obviously, helped build our great defense back that led us to Super Bowl 53. And of course, he had a great one with the Buccaneers winning Super Bowl 55 a couple years ago too. So not much to be said with him. Obviously, we know a couple off the field issues known in his past. Obviously, with Aaron Rodgers a couple years earlier in his career with his time in the Lions, and of course that divisional game against my Rams, hitting Matthew Stafford, former teammate of his. So I don't really have a team that he can go to. I'm honestly seeing him either ride out free agency into the rest of the season, or possibly retire either soon or by the end of the season. I don't really see him generating too much interest, but regardless, it was a hell of a career for him. Got his ring in Super Bowl 55, so obviously see what ends up for him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you here as well. I don't see Ndamukong Suh having a potential landing spot for him. He did have a good run with the Rams, securing that Super Bowl victory with you guys, and it was very great for him to get that ring.
Lost his Super Bowl with us, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's right, lost the Super Bowl. I was thinking of when you guys won. I thought he was on the team. Excuse me. But yeah, he did. Like I said, he did have that good run with the Rams. Sadly, it wasn't enough. But I just don't see any potential spots for Ndamukong Suh right now. So like you said, I do feel he would probably stick out the season as a free agent or possibly retired. Now moving on to our last notable free agent is Matty Ice, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, he was a very great quarterback for the Falcons. He was a very great quarterback in general, one of the top in the league. And obviously, during Super Bowl, after the infamous Super Bowl 51, the 28-3 league was blown by the Falcons, and that was the decline, like how we talked about Julio and Matty Ice. It was a very bad decline. The Falcons had to move on for Matt Ryan. Then we see how Matt Ryan, he did sign with the Colts in the offseason, I believe, of last season. Really didn't do much for the Colts. It was pretty much bad. He was very washed. And in my opinion, Matty Ice, he is at that point of his career where I think it's time to hang up the cleats and retire. I don't see any potential landing spots for Matt Ryan, so I do think he will retire by either the end of the season or the start of the season.
Yeah. Obviously, we're going to have to be in agreement here again. I mean, to me, it's honestly a surprise he hasn't announced his retirement. Waiting to see what he will do. I mean, I'm pretty sure he did have an agreement with CBS to join their pregame team. So if he's just going to ride it out, still keeping the door open if someone comes calling, that may be. But I mean, we both know. I mean, ever since Super Bowl 51, he just hasn't been the same. So. I mean, especially just the horrendous season last season with the Colts. So, it's just time to hang it up for him. And, well, that's just basically going to do it for what we got here so far. That was 10 of the most notable free agents that, just get the ball rolling, see some takes about where we think they'd end up. And, of course, little by little, we'll see what else we can get before the season goes. Obviously, when we get back into our regular weekly videos, we'll get a prediction video out in a couple weeks. And I guess Christian, I'll let you close this one out.
Yeah, we just got a video, nice simple video, just to get content throughout the week, and it was this video of these free agents. Hopefully, we get some more videos going up for you guys in the following weeks, and the 2023 to 2024 season predictions, the division winners, Super Bowl winners, and obviously the playoffs. We'll gotta get a video going up there. Nice, decently not too long, but pretty lengthy video of our division winners and for the predictions for the 2023 season. And obviously that's about it. Thank you guys for watching us and still sticking with us after last year, and we'll see you guys in the next video.